ankle or knee on that second series. You had a timeout. Were you concerned with his health at that point? And
I wasn't, because I didn't see it. I found out because I was upset with him for being a little late to the next play. Then I realized that he was hurting. I was told, and I was told after the game. But he was fine. He was a little banged up on that play, but nothing after the game. It wore off, and he's good to go now.
You said emphasize 30 runs. That was, for the team that gets 30 runs. Was that? I'm sure it was mostly specific to the opponent, but is that something in your mind also generally about games?
Yeah, always. I mean, it's everyone. Usually teams that lose didn't run the ball that much, and usually when you win, you run the ball more. But it's a lot more complicated than that. It's hard to get runs like that called, but when you're going against a real good defense, like we knew Minnesota was or is, and we know we're a good defense also. So when you go against two good defenses, the team that's able to run the ball, usually you put your team in the least amount of risky situations. And you knew that would be the plan for both teams. It's kind of been the plan all year for both teams. But very rarely are you going to see two teams run over 30 times. So that's why usually the team who plays the best team football is able to do that. And that's why that's not just up to the offense. I mean, the defense has to cause some 3-and-outs, which they did. Special teams has to play very well. And the offense has to do good throwing the ball also on third down so you can keep calling those runs. And I think we got all three of those things, and that's why we were able to get a lot more than 30.
The only two negative runs you had were the kneels, and the longest run you had was 11 yards. Have you ever had a game where it just seemed like you were just kind of 4, 5, 6 at a time like that?
No. I mean, you do, but then you got to not when you score points. Usually if you don't have an explosive run, it's hard to score a lot of points. So if you would have told me that before the game, I wouldn't have thought we got so many runs in. I would have thought we had to throw to get some points. I thought that was the neat thing about just how the whole team played. That was a tough thing about Minnesota's defense. They hadn't been giving up many explosives in the run or pass game. They were a little susceptible to giving up some 4-yard runs and 5-yard runs, which nobody wants. But the way those safeties came down and everything, it was extremely hard to get an explosive run. And that's why they did a heck of a job all game, not allowing us to get one. We had our chance on just a few, but they were such good tacklers. They got us down there. But that's why third down was so important. We did decent on third down, and our defense did really well on third down, so we kept getting opportunities.
How do you view that November game against the Packers, given that? Or how do you use it this week? I guess from a preparation standpoint, there are going to be schematic things you look at, but I would assume you're also expecting a very different type of Packers team that you're going to play on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean we know it'll be different. I mean we know that game got away from them early, and I mean that's definitely not the team we're going to see this week. I mean everyone knows how good Green Bay is, how good their coaching staff is, how good their players are, how good their quarterback is. I don't think they've lost a game since then. So I mean I think that game really holds zero relevance in what's going to happen this Sunday.
When you go through that game and look at where things could have gone wrong with little mistakes, I mean, are there any teaching points in that one?
I mean I'll probably find some. I haven't gone through it hard yet. I'm still doing the Minnesota stuff, and we're going to meet with our players right after this and keep talking about Minnesota for a couple more hours, and then we'll get them out of here, and we'll spend the next day and a half all on Green Bay, and when they come in on Wednesday, I'll address Green Bay with them.
It seems like human, it just seems natural that after you have your way with a team like that and then you face them just a couple months later, you kind of take it for granted. What's going to be your teaching point to the guys this week?
Don't be that stupid. That's not real. This is about Sunday's game. I mean, I can give 1,000 stories of things like that. Plenty of games from my history that I've been a part of. So I remember losing to Carolina 37-0 when they were 13-0, and we had to play them 2 weeks later, and then we beat them at Atlanta, and they ended up being 15-1 that year. But I mean, there's so many stories like that, and this is the NFL, so no team. The game before never matters like that. There's 4 teams left, and there's 4 very, very good teams, and it's going to be a hard game for all of us. So, and also our players, the type of guys they are, the way they've been all year. I'm not concerned about that. They'll have to answer that question, I'm sure, a lot, but I don't think that'll be a worry for our players, which means it won't be for me.
Kyle, even though you haven't started dissecting Green Bay yet, off the top of your head, what jumps out as things they might be doing differently now versus last time you played?
Nothing really, because I haven't dissected them yet. I watched it on TV last night like everyone else, and I'm going to hop into this after I'm done with our players. But, I mean, they do what they do, and we do what we do. So, I mean, we all run our schemes and have our foundations of what we do. You can't reinvent the wheel in a certain week, or you're putting your players in a bad position. So, everyone's going to have wrinkles. We're going to have some wrinkles. They're going to have some wrinkles. Lots of teams play each other twice in the year. If it would have been the other team, it would have been the third time we've played a team. So, this happens a lot. It's going to be a tough game for both teams, and I'm excited to go get started on it.
Devontae Adams is the main guy you got to stop in that offense, and everyone knows that, but he's still tough to stop. What makes him such a challenge?
That he's very good at beating man coverage. When guys that are hard to cover because of their quickness, their feet, their size, and their hands, it's tough. And zone, they got a good quarterback who gets the ball the right spot, and Devontae's definitely their best guy at beating man-to-man, but they got a bunch of guys who can do it too.
How has K1 played in that role this year? We've talked about how he's had a pretty good year, but how do you see him matching up there?
I think K1 does. I think K1 can match up with anyone in this league. I think he's done a great job all year. I thought last week, I thought he took his game even to another level. I thought he had a great game on Saturday, and I expect him to do the same this week.
About 3 years ago, you were also preparing for the Packers in the NFC Championship game. That went very well. I assume you want to skip the stomach flu this time around. What are your memories of trying to prepare while you were sick that week?
It was different. I remember having to do that Friday night. I had to do an interview for a defense coordinator, which I didn't want to have to do because usually my Fridays are resting. But I had to interview a defense coordinator for this job. And then later that night, I started getting sick and just spent the whole night getting the flu, and it was rough. But fortunately, I was just a coach, not a player. So once that game started, I sat in my chair all game, very relaxed, dressed warm, and just called plays. So it was more of a story, just because I was pretty sick, but that doesn't affect play callers very much. We're not the ones who got to go out there and run all game.